Hello and welcome to livealittlehigher.com. This week we continue learning Hovot HaLevavot, the duties of the heart, and we are in the last gate of this wonderful book, the gate of the love of God. And today Rabbi Bahi is going to explain to us what is the meaning of love of God. What does it really mean to love Hashem? So he says, it is the soul's yearning and longing in its very essence for the Creator, so as to attach itself to His supernal light. So love of God really means that you want to be with God. You know, when you love someone, you want to be with that person. You want to go out with them. You want to spend as much time possible with them. So love of God is that if you're not connected to Hashem, you feel a yearning, you feel like you're missing something. And many people have a void in their lives. This is normal, to feel like you're empty, you're not completely full. And that is that feeling that when you're not completely full, like you're missing Hashem, like there's something that is not complete within you. And that is, that's when you have this feeling of emptiness. It's really, you have to fill it with love for God. That's what it is. And you feel this yearning, you feel this emptiness, which is like an indicator that you have to search for Hashem. So the soul is a simple spiritual element. The soul really is very simple. It's a spark of God. It's divine. It's holy. It's completely spiritual. It only wants to be connected to God. It only wants to do what Hashem wants him to do. He's not interested in the material world. He only wants to learn Torah. He wants to do mitzvot, anything that will attach him to Hashem. That's what this soul wants. But the problem is that we have this divinity within us that really is a spark of Hashem. And Hashem, when this soul descends into this world, He packs it into a body. And the body is completely opposite to the soul. The body is animalistic. The body wants pleasure. The body wants to eat. The body wants to have fun. The body wants to not have pain. It runs towards pleasure and it runs away from pain. And so you have these entities living one within the other that really have nothing to do one with the other. Like really, one wants spirituality and the other one wants the vida loca, you know? So the soul has an intuition when something is beneficial to the body. So he knows that eating kosher is beneficial to the body. He knows that praying is beneficial to the body. He knows that keeping Shabbos is beneficial to the body. And so this soul tries to bring this body to fulfill Hashem's desires. And just as a person, when he's ill, will long for a skilled physician, will want to go to the best doctor that will help him get well. When the soul intuits that something will add light to its very essence and strength to itself, the soul is drawn to it in its thoughts and locks onto it in its reflection and ponders in it in its imagination, and it desires it and longs for it. And this is the height of pure love. So if you have a yearning and you have a void and you have this feeling of I'm not complete, I need to attach myself to something higher than myself, then this is the way to love Hashem. The way to love Hashem is through the Torah and the mitzvot. There's no other way to show Him the love, because Hashem is a spiritual being. He's not a material being. He's an infinite being. And the way to have a relationship with Hashem is through His Torah and His mitzvot. So this brings so, and since the demands of the body are many and the need for the supply of its wants is constant, like the body's never satiated. If you feed it, like 3 hours later, it's still hungry, you know? It still wants to eat more. It's not like you feed him once a day and that's it. It won't bother you. It will constantly be asking for that chocolate, or for something crunchy, or it has cravings, or it needs pampering, or it needs a massage, or it needs to be stretched. So the body is constantly asking for more and more and more, and it has no rest of peace. As long as the afflictions of the body are not relieved, the soul becomes worried with bodily matters and is kept away from its true loves. So when the body is so demanding, the soul has no time to attach itself to the spiritual part, because he's taking care of the body, like he's providing for the body. So it says that that which are of the same nature as itself are unique to its essence and determine its happiness in its final place of rest. But when the light of the intellect draws upon the soul and reveals to it the lowness of that to which it has turned in love and been drawn in its fancies while neglecting the source of its salvation in both abodes, it will then desist from this course, and leaving it all in affairs of the Creator and Provider, will turn its thoughts to seeking ways of extricating itself from the powerful trap into which it has fallen, from the terrible trial to which it has been subjected. So the soul will detach itself from this world and all its pleasures, and will scorn the body and its desires. And thereupon its eyes will be open and its vision will be cleared of the cloud of ignorance of God and His Torah, and it will discern between truth and falsehood, and the true nature of its Creator and the guide will be revealed to it. So what he's saying, Rabbi Bahya, is that the soul, when it comes to realize that the body really, what it's doing is it's keeping him away from Hashem, and he realizes that all these needs of the body are not allowing him to connect to God, then he can manage it. Because you have to be a master of your body. You cannot allow your body to take control over you. You have to control your body. There's a story of the Alter Rebbe that when he was learning Torah, the stomach used to grumble because it was hungry. It was time for lunch, for example. And the stomach would start grumbling because it needs food. And he would tell it, okay, in 5 minutes. And he would continue learning Torah. And in 5 minutes, the stomach will grumble again. And he would say, okay, in 5 minutes. So he kept it like that, like for an hour. Why did he do that? So he would control the body and the body wouldn't control him. But he wouldn't say to it, no, I'm not going to feed you, for example. The body needs something, he wouldn't say, no, forget it, I'm not going to feed you, I'm going to learn Torah. No, because the body would drive him nuts. He would just keep on going and going until he had to give in. So we have to understand that we have a duality, that we have really these two entities living together. It's like a bad marriage. One has nothing to do with the other. But we have to learn how to cope with the body, with the soul. We have to give what the soul needs. We need to give the body what the body needs. But always with the neshama being in control. The intellect has to control the body. You cannot allow the body to take over your life. So when the soul perceives His great power and awesome majesty, it will kneel and bow low before Him in awe, fear, and dread on account of His greatness and majesty, and will not leave this state until the Creator, may He be exalted, reassures it and allies its fear and dread. Then the soul will be offered the cup of love for God. It will withdraw to be alone with God and devotes its heart solely to Him, loving Him, relying on Him, longing for Him. It will occupy itself with nothing but His service. And so it will think of nothing besides Hashem. He will reflect on nothing but Hashem. It will not move any of its limbs except to do what Hashem wants him to do, to do a mitzvah, to do what Hashem desires. It will not loosen its tongue except in remembering Him, extolling him, thanking him, and singing praise to him out of love for him and longing for his favor. So what he's saying is once the soul recognizes what is impeding him to connect to Hashem, he will be able to manage the desires of the body. He's going to be able to control the body, and he's going to be able to attach himself to Hashem. And if he bestows blessing upon it, it is grateful. If he afflicts it, it suffers patiently and only increases its love for him and trust in him. It is told of one of the pious that he would arise in the night and say, "My God, you have left me hungry and naked and kept me in the dark of night, and yet I swear by your strength and your greatness that even if you burn me by fire, I will only increase my love for you and my joy in you." And this is similar to what Eov said, "Though he slay me, yet I will wait for him." And the prophet said, "Love Hashem your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might." And it's interesting because we see that when the Jewish people are attacked because they're Jewish, what's the response of the Jew? He becomes a prouder Jew. He becomes a more connected Jew. He wants to be connected to Hashem. So we see that really this is the essence of a Jew. This is our essence. Our essence is that we want to be connected to God, that the world sometimes takes us in different directions. The glitter of the world, the material world, takes us to other places. But when we're put to the test, that's where we want to be. We want to be held in Hashem's hands. So I want to wish you a blessed week. And remember, live a little higher. Thank you.